Hey guys, it's Tarkin coming at you with another game of Total War 3 Kingdoms. We're here with Liu Biao, here in our 190 expanded campaign. It's what, early 192, something like that. And man oh man, things aren't going perfect, but we're finally getting a little bit of a feel for it, albeit slightly late. And we're here against Cheng Pu again, and we've already released him a couple of times, so it's entirely plausible that at some point he'll start seeing things my way, and that would be quite a coup indeed. With his huge melee evasion, he's a big headache for us to deal with. This dude has reckless horse, and this is just an inspiring surge, dude. Now, Cheng Gong has analyzed weakness, which is a lowering to, it's just a passive lowering of melee evasion and armor to general, so that will, significantly debuff, their dudes. It's pretty nice to have. You've got the alternative, which is Wizard of the River, to drop 100, but of course this also only goes to generals rather than everybody else, so it's just a different sort of class of things, but glad to have him with us. Alright, and all we gotta do is figure out where we wish to fight, and that's gonna be over here. They don't have much cav to speak of, which means we're going to set the terms of the engagement, as is our preference. Now we have vanishingly little to speak of in the ways of infantry, but that is why, we've got the rest of it. I don't love this army how it is now. Two of these archers need to be infantry and probably two of the other guys. I mean, obviously without artillery we are where we are. But the thing about Liu Biao is he's, not strong in a fight. So we really have to lean on the hero Sun here, right? To get things done. We outrange their bows a fair amount. The handmaid guard is here. Ooh! Okay, so these are the special units of Lady Sun Run, but we're just going to push right through here and keep on rocking. And I bet these fools, oh, these are the peasant spears. We're gonna try to fight them here in the woods. I feel like this is smart. Don't ask me why, because we're gonna beast here, and then we're just going to go like so. And Liu very nearly breaks off these, alright, does break off the horsemen. I was like, we must have done a lot of damage there. And now they are in a bad spot. These crossbows are totally broken off, and so we're going to hit them. They don't have a full army against us, and well, that's just too bad for them, isn't it? We're going to get Liu Biao over here to help. And these archer are just archer militia, so hardly the stuff of worries. He wants to duel me. This would be awesome. However, we'll just take that duel later, because right now we are just getting things accomplished with him, and we hardly need to break him off when we're doing so good. That's why they tried to get the duel, of course. They know where it's at. They know where the bread is buttered. Speaking of the buttered bread, this handmaid guard getting absolutely smashed up. Gonna be able to escort him off. And now it's smashed. Cheng Pu is much too evasive for us to want to. We'll go there. And here's our smash there, and we are dealing with these merc archers. I think it's worth sticking on them here. Because, yeah, we're going to have the heavy cav tying in here. They're fighting amongst spears. This is a very, very bad situation for them. And, of course, we've got Cheng Gong for the sick follow up, and they don't have any infantry that's gonna even make its way in. Yeah, they are much too engaged here, and Cheng Pu is absolutely gonna get the business here again. Brutal stuff. But, you know, that's what it's all about. We're finally, you know, now that I've got a big gold weapon on Liu Qi, no, we didn't even really use it this fight, right? What won the day here was superior tactics, and by that I mean superior numbers. But, you know, having more guys than the enemy has is a tactic all its own, and one I would recommend using if you've got access to it. Because if you want to be better in war, you could just be richer. And that'll work. And that is the story of the Three Kingdoms. There you go. Wrap it up. We're done describing everything. You can just be Richard now. You know, sometimes even that won't work all the way, right? Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, it doesn't want to duel. Well, I'm not surprised. Of course, he's quite evasive, but with our other cavalry around and our continual smashing. Yeah, there we go. These are G militia too. Like, they're never gonna hold up to the power we got here. They're trying like a deep flank, or that was where their reinforcements were coming from, more likely. But they'll probably run off before, but you know, you never know. This guy, this strategist somehow unharmed, right? We get onto the archers there. Cheng Pu must be shattered somewhere. I doubt we killed him. But we might have done. Why were we getting... Oh, because we took a volley or whatever there. But now we'll be okay. Not these guys, though. Jeez. I mean, obviously not you guys. Why are you fighting... Why are you fighting over there? Did I tell you to do that? Crazy. Oh, we've got flaming shot now? Magnificent. Well, this is good news. Because that changes absolutely everything and makes me just a much more comfortable boy. We're gonna loop around the back here. Give him the charge. Give him the old one too. These G militia can't win this fight, right? Well, you know, they might. Let's get out of here. Let's not stay engaged in battle against people with the cav bonus, right? Yes, let us not do that. But there we go. Coming out pretty lightly toasted. A lot of these archers were, you know, we just got Chen Gong up and rolling, so there we are. Plenty of kills to go around on the shot cav, the ones that got engaged anyway. And he's got low resilience now. We did not get Shengong. That would have been pretty sweet. This guy... This guy is level 4. This guy is level 4, and I feel like we just take him. And then we'll just release this guy. He's got like decent traits and stuff, but you know, Just don't really need him there. Here, taking the replen is probably more important than the money. Our public order is tanking terribly. Population's dropping. Alright, did we even set up an admin? Yes, we did set up an admin for him. Good. We've got Tutor as a post active now. Alright, so we've got a couple potential guys here. Sima Fong is level 4, but we've got our own level 4 guy now. The miraculous. Alright, so yeah, we're just gonna wait here and hope to get away with something, because they might both come at us here. We're just gonna see what we can do. But alright, so we I think Cheng Pu might have perished there, which really is too bad. Alright, so another admin. We might need one more army, but probably not a ton more armies than that. We gain momentum. Yeah. So now we're allowed to get 8 things, but yeah, I think Cheng Pu perished in the fight there, which you know, he was a worthy opponent. All right, here this is actually really tricky. Because moving this way for unyielding seems good, but actually maybe just taking this. I mean, maybe, right? Because the replenishment is probably worth it. But if we go here, we get night battle next. Yeah, that's better, right? It's just better. Because getting to night battle, and he's got to be the commander of the army if he's in the field, and he's probably got to be in the field. And okay, we get access to more of these positions already. That is very good indeed. Alright, and we'll make him the administrator up here. No, because I mean... The character age has to be over 55, got it. And this will make everybody have more experience. Well, oh, and this one has to be 35 to 55. I see. Well, looks like a good job for Chen Gong. looks like we don't really have a good thing there. All right, so here, Grand Commandant for him. I mean, it would make everybody. All right, so this would make everybody worse at a lot of stuff. You know, this guy used to be high up in the Han, and we're seeing that maybe he didn't do a great job by his traits up there. Do we want to make Liu Jian here? Alright, so Alright, well, we just need to get somebody in there, right? It is important to get somebody in there. Yeah, I guess we just make him the Grand Commandant because we know we can trust him. And, you know, reward him. And the Grand Excellency can go to this guy who only makes everybody better at everything. And then like, those guys aren't trustworthy enough to make administrators, right? Do we want to just, like, keep it in the family? Don't want to give it to the wife, of course. It'd be unseemly. We could make him the administrator. He'd actually be super good at it, apparently. All right, yeah, so this is what we want to do. He's amazing at being an administrator. Alright, the problem is, of course, Cao Cao is up there. But, you know, everything is fine, right? Yeah, you know, everything is fine. I don't think we can give him... No, we totally can give him this place back from across the river. So that's excellent, because this is like his land, right? So that's good to know that we'll be able to sort this out, assuming we can win. Because, of course, the big guy looks like he might be on the way before too long. But maybe we'll work it out. Alright, he wants us to pay him and do stuff and blah, blah, blah to get just a trade agreement. I mean, I bet he would give us a trade agreement for better terms. Potentially, alright. We don't have towers. I don't think we can really do any damage here. It's just level 1, guys. This is not like a great army, but you know, yeah, we'll just delegate it out. What are you gonna do, right? That's how it goes. We were not there to be there for the fight, and then, you know, they make landfall, which is pretty bad. Here, they're both here. If we could win, I mean, like, if we could win it. If we just take the auto, we win it. That's not very sporting, is it? Because if we just win this, then they're in the biggest trouble all the way on the back feet. How do we win it? Well, he has his bow. And Liu Dan, you're a disgrace to be fighting for the Yuan family here. I love her. We used her at a previous thing, you know. We just need to get her to see things our way. Obviously, we don't have a grudge against everyone in their family. But, yeah, I mean, you know, we can't initiate a night battle. See, our guys are a little beat up, but we have about their strength in cavalry. and much more strength than them in archery. These dudes have decent armor, but, you know, really it's about the fact that they don't have very many shielded guys at all. And I feel like that's going to be our route to victory on the battlefield here. Assuming we can find it. And I sure hope we can. Because I'm actually having an awesome time in this playthrough, and I wanna keep on with it. It's like, where do we think they're gonna be? Are they gonna be like over here? And you keep the G militia in the back, so they can jump on a guy, maybe, but not, you know. Alright, their backup army was actually kind of punchy. You know, let's do this all over here. I feel like that's better. We can pick apart them on the approach. Pick apart them. Pick them apart, however you prefer. Now, not a lot of cav, but about as much as them. We're just going to have to count on the hamstring punch, and then he, of course, has his warning shots and stuff. All right, let's find them. All right, they're over here. Good, good, good. Would have really stunk to have it the other way around. Now, what we want to do is identify the weak links here, right? Which is, this guy's very strong, but our bow... You know, if we just chip him down, then he won't be able to roar. This is more of finding the strong link than the weak link. Because if he wants to sit out in the front and let us shoot him, that's awesome. He probably hasn't heard of me, if that's what he wants, though. Because he does not... Yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness. Huang Zhong just deleting him. Shot after shot. Oh, what a champion, you know. That is how it's done. You got... Okay, and there we go. She was oath-sworn to him, but... And of course we know that their reinforcements will be here before we know it. Let's just get out ahead of them here. But a couple amazing, because I mean his bow's strong, right? And we got 30 arrows, but maybe let's save a couple more, right? Because she's a healer. Yeah, so we need to get her down. That's why I want her in my army. I remember now, because she's a healer. And if we can get her... With, like, Liu Qi, is he married? Maybe. We can get him a new wife. One of the Yuan clan who is happy to be with us, you know, or whatever. But, of course, that means we also, I mean, like, maybe just finish her off. But no, there's bound to be a better target, right? And as soon as they come out of the trees, you know, they'll be a little tired, a little tuned up, and then now, you know, these peasant raiders, okay, and they're very low morale anyway. So we're just gonna be able to, like, warning shot them here. It'll give them negative 20 morale, assuming it hits them, and... Yeah, and then we can just, like, run in and get them to break, and that is very good. And shatter them off. This is most excellent indeed, because that's like a whole unit of them, and boom, baby, getting it done here. Beating up on these guys as well, you know, these, the twin marshal G's being great. And, you know, they're a little outside of their their zone of strength here, so we continue to pick them apart a little bit. And then we're just going to go for a warning shot onto these Cav and try and see if we can get them to break off the battlefield. I doubt it, though. Alright, and now they're wheeling in, which means it's time for us to wheel right out. And, you know, wherever their reinforcements are, they definitely are taking their sweet time to get here, and that's great, you know. One of the things I love about Three Kingdoms battle maps is they're so large. You know, it gives you the chance to, really sink your teeth in. You know, like a big battle with lots of reinforcements, it could be quite a while, you know, several minutes before they arrive. Especially if they're not mobile and you are, you know, if you have reinforcements that are cavalry or other strong generals, you know, you can really make a big difference with them. And of course later, if we ever get like towers to bring to bear, you know, that'll be good too. And I think in the back here is nothing but not spears. Nope, they got spears there too. Oop, here we go. Most excellent. We get to jump right in on the repeater crossbows and push through these fools. Hamstring's more of like a up close and personal ability, but we're just gonna keep on charging, stay out of the spears, up here into the center. Oh, clean indeed. And these guys just getting run all the way down. Yeah, and all of them are quite far over there. As this guy, Liu Biao, does have a good weapon. I would love to take it off of his hands and put it into one of my hands. But that went well, and now it's time for everybody to get back into line. Get the men back into line. But these mounted lancers are making quite the mistake in thinking that it's a good idea to fight us here. These are just archer militia. This is wild that we forgot to get these guys to put themselves back where we wanted. I'm like, certainly these militia can't be better at fighting than me, and then this lady is much too far out. Let's go. Let's go tell her what happens to strategists who get caught alone in the woods with a bunch of other guys. It looks like she's finding out, though. We're just trying to get out of these trees here. They've got their melee evasion totally juiced here. You know, that's their prerogative. That's their Britney Spears, as they say. But it looks like that'll be worn off in just a little bit of time. We're just gonna probably go for the charge just a little earlier than would be advantageous. These are Jian sword guards, but if we get them, you know, at the right angle, the correct angle, we should still be able to get something good on them here. And of course, the bulk of their forces are not in any position to make good on the fact that they're pretty good at fighting here, and these sword guards will get tuned up, and there we go, these guys done. Liu Dan is a champion, but a champion can only champion so hard. Feng Fang has now been shuffled away. We're gonna warning shot him back off. And it looks like it almost worked. We're just gonna go hit him, you know. Run away, bro. I told you what was up. And he charges right into the back of spears. We need to not engage these swords that we're seeing coming up. That is their special infantry, but we have the perfect situation, which is we're not out of ammo yet, so we are gonna be able to just run away from them. Both of their heroes are running for the hills, running for their lives, and the Rapid Tiger infantry are getting shot down by our archers, and that's of course because we have barely enough resources to do this. But you know, that's all you need. You just need enough ammo, and of course their range are repeating crossbows, hardly the stuff of nightmares. And we're just gonna run away here. And then you know, a couple of charges in here. The big guy, the old guy, he's a little tuned up, right? We don't want to let him get too harmed in here, but looks like the Rapid Tigers. You know, Rapid Tigers, they're scary. They're punchy, they got good damage, they've got good evasive stats, but what they don't have is shields. So, you know, if you just get enough ammo to hit them, but of course we didn't have enough ammo to entirely take care of them, just to mostly take care of them. But they are going to be escorted away now. And importantly, most of our cav is still alive. He's just going to warning shot the lady here. And it looks like they'll be running now. So a very wonderful victory over what remains of Yuan Shu's faction. And we are going to do our absolute best to run all of them down. Of course, if you injure the guys at the top, then they might get their retinue replaced or whatever. But here... Okay, so this is the Sun family thing. So he's already, you know, jumped ship. Well, you know, just having even just a regular weapon and a silver weapon involved, you know, definitely made some of a difference. And man, oh man, you know, we actually still had some arrows in the quiver there. Pretty surprising, but let's... keep on escorting them. Because if we have to fight them next time, you know, I'd rather it be not the Rapid Tiger Infantry. You know, let's get them... Let's get them escorted. Alright. There we have it. She's friends with Zhong Kai. You know, she actually seems like she has, like, some good stats and stuff. But... Because, like, evasion, the battle running speed, loyal, you know, maybe... Maybe, yeah, you know, maybe somebody in the family needs a wife and she's respectable. Here we're in negative. Oh, because we lost the one thing. Yeesh, yeah. So we gotta take the replay. And this is over the end turn, and, well, he somehow gets away up there. Great. Well, the good news is... Well, Cai Mao might be putting pressure lower on the Sun family. And if we get peace under, like, good circumstances, that would be amazing. Huang Zhong gets peace. Cheng Pu gets peace. Because with just an offer of autonomy, we can get it. But... yeah, it's... You'd probably have to give him land. I mean, maybe not. Because we could just give him money, but we can't afford to give him money. We afford to give him money. We have a ton of food, actually. You know, we could probably get it to him for some food. What is the source of all... Oh, because we got the prestige and the characters and, yes, the, some of the other stuff we got in there. And then here, in just a bit... We're going to be at the next level of governance, which gives us 1% more replenishment and 5 satisfaction, so that'll be pretty exciting. And of course, these guys won, and not only did they win, but that replenishment that we took got these archers of Jing in awesome shape. And, yeah, good stuff. Of course, this guy is... So they're extremely beat up. But... Alright, so if we... Yeah, we can just delegate that off and that'll be fine. Maybe we'll get a chance to capture her here. That would be amazing. Like, a healer always goes a treat, right? Yes, yes, yes! Glorious day! And, you know, it also... She's graceful. That's good. Yeah, alright. Yuan and Yang. Part of the crew, part of the ship. Liu Qi is not married, and we already related through the house? Oh, she's married. Well, that's all right. You know, maybe something will happen to him. To one of the Sun family. You know, that makes sense because that would have been why they got allied. I see. Well, now it all makes more sense.
开战！这是我们应得的。
And we get to zoom in here. Okay, so the blacksmith just is awesome. This must be like somebody else's building, right? Yeah, this must be like somebody like a Yellow Turban building maybe, because this is amazing, right? Yeah, higher quality weapons, but can't be unique items. Because that's what this one says. So this is the equivalent of a top level one. Which is pretty good. How greedy are we?
一统天下。
We just don't know where he's gonna go. We do know that we're in okay shape here, right? Okay, we've got some items to distribute, so you're the administrator here, which means this public order. No, you're the administrator of the home place, and that means you need this more. There we go. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, we got better horses now. Marvelous! Now, it does make you slower, but more massive, and we will give the finest of our horses to Liu Qi, who obviously deserves it. And then we will give this black thoroughbred horse to Qinggong to show our favor to his wise counsel, you know, such as it is. This is going so good. I mean, sure, we might lose soon, but right now it's fine. Good, even. These guys aren't... Like, do we want to drop, like, 2 of these and get a cataphract? Because a cataphract, right? But I guess just because we've got Mighty Knockback on... I mean, because maybe the cataphract would be good, though. You can't really afford it. Like, do they have... Like, because they have sort of stuff in our weight class. And then, you know, like... sometimes a lot of merc infantry, but the good thing is about fighting against Sun Jian is maybe we'll get the horse, right? Or the sword, or the seal. Of course, the bad thing is maybe he'll, like, beat us down because he's got all that stuff and we don't. Now, what we want to do here, I think, is move here and go to ambush and just hope that they'll move in this direction, because it's very difficult to move from here into our bases of operations there. It's not an easy nut to crack for them, of course. This pressure from Cai Mao might really help out, and you know, he's got some decent stuff in that army. But, you know, we're having to help here as well. Now, what we want to do here... This garrison can beat them, because it's going to be a couple of turns. I think we're fine there. Do we want to hold on to this land? How doable is it with Cao Cao being there? Because if we just trade this to him...
很高兴见到足下。
Give him the farmland, even though, I mean, it's farmland. And now he loves it, right? Does he have any stuff we can get out of him? No. Marriages? No. But really, anything to get another vassal is good, and this will, you know, keep him alive. Who's he at war with? Yellow Turbans and all of them. Well, you know. And the thing is, though, is if we do this, it's going to force Cao Cao into peace or war with us. Now, Cao Cao does have a lot of wars, and he may not want another one. But he's defiant anyway, so we wouldn't want him in our parties. He's not cool.
欢迎，朋友。
You know, maybe Lu Kang here will be amenable. Alright, so he's a never. But that just means maybe a nice trade agreement. And, you know, we'll, join our houses. No, we'll just, I forgot to get more. I was like, we just had enter. Well, that's pretty bad. Anyway, you know, we could have got more for the trade agreement. Maybe we should have married his daughter in. But, you know, it's fine.
众将听令。
Oh, Tong Yuri has reward the filial and incorrupt. Well, that's good. Yes, yes, it sure is. Excellent. Oh, okay. And this guy's got this increased provisions thing, which is real good too. Increased military enterprise and reserves. Of course, costs a little money, but... Now, if we could hold on to this, it would be good, but we might just give it to Huang Zhong and move back over in this direction. Once winter ends. And if Lu Kang, you know, continues being cool... I mean, he does like us. No, we'll wait. Because we've got Yuan Anyang, right? And Sun Hao here isn't going to live forever. All right. We'll support your legitimacy. It makes him even more mad for us to say that we'll support his legitimacy. All right. Well. I guess we just hold on to that for right now till we can figure out what to do with it. We've already got the lodging. No, we need to convert the lodging. It wouldn't let us do it till it was level there, I recall. I think we'll drop that one, you know. It wasn't a good idea to upgrade it in the first place to try to stabilize that public order a little more. All right. All right, so the good news is that the ambush failed, but we got this fight on them, right? So we are going to be able to fight the armies apart from each other. This is very good because this will let us get enough ammunition. And Sun Jian also might not actually be able to get to us in time. Sun Jian. And if that's the case, in like this turn, then this could be pretty nice indeed. Because if we could really bloody their nose while still replenishing, you know, that's what the dream is. What we're going to want to do to get more of the dream is get here. I don't love this battlefield setup. But you know, we've got our fire arrows, so we'll be able to pull out. Really it's that we need to restructure this army when we can to get just, you know, a little bit more infantry on the ground. They've got charge resist in their block. You never like to see that. And he doesn't have Strider here. We could get the old man out there. It'd be a little dangerous, but not too bad. We just want to make sure that we don't get caught out by somebody, I say. So we're better at fighting than he is, so we can take this fight. He's got a lot of armor, but we're made out of armor piercing. Do we really want to be fighting right here? I mean... it's probably fine. This dude gets totally tuned up and is already running. But it's time for us to get out of here as we can. because the spears are arriving. Never a good sign, but we're going to bring in the other half of the cav block. Here. But this clumsy fight in the middle was fine, you know, but now we need to back up. Want to let the arrows get their work in. And now we've got a big Wisdom of the River hit. We're going to counteract it by making sure we have a ranged block chance. Not really much of a counteraction, is it? But the good news is they're not really flanking from that side. They're in trouble over here. And when their center comes in, you know, that's all they've got. This strategist, Lu Su, is trying to make good on it, but we're going to send our head honcho after him. That'll show him. And here we're just trying to get out of the side of this blob to get around to the back potentially. There we go. There we go. Or actually, we're probably going to get... No, it might be okay. We might get really messed up here, though, because the one we were chasing rallied, and then this other one comes in, but they might be trying to reposition. You know, it looks like they're gonna flee in time, though, and these raiders will fall to us. You want a brawl, bro? Yeah, I accept. And of course, they're in the burning trees, hardly where they want to be. But these two units of cav do all right there, and the duel is going perfect for us, just perfect. And it's time for Liu Biao to thread the needle and get on these crossbows on the rear side. Sun Bin there, getting beat up. Liu Qi emerging victorious, always knew the boy had it in him, always knew. We need to get in into this blob and just apparently right into the front of it, right? But it unironically looks like charging right in with the hero was the move that we needed. You know, a lot of our cav getting more beat up than we would like is the problem, but hey, you know, the other problems of life can be dealt with as they come. At least for the day, at least for some of the day, we'll have a victory. But if Sun Jian tries to hit us, we'll probably be able to retreat. Because he was pretty far away, I think. The ambush worked, though, because even though, you know, even though we didn't get the ambush off, it worked because it drew them out from where they wanted to go. They were trying to attack, you know, our guys. And now we've drawn them into the center here. And this is a terrible place for them to be. It's not close to anywhere. It's not on the way to anywhere else. It's just right where I wanted them. But we're hoping to sufficiently beat down these guys. In any case, you know, we don't want them to be backups for what's to come. Even running them down, sometimes the Lancer Militia is like, look, it's the snow, and we're tired, and I don't really want to do this anymore, I quit. It's always funny when you have somebody break from morale when the battle's over, but, you know, that's just how it goes. You know, maybe they're holding together because somebody was inspiring them, you know. So they had secure flanks or whatnot.
缜密谋划，方可取胜。我等非蛮夷也，看压他们只能消耗我军辎重。
And that's exactly what happened. Now it's winter, so we won't get that much replenishment, but we could probably, like, walk back to where we were. And despite our inferior forces, our advisors predicted close victory. Good. Now, obviously, we could do this ourselves, but we'll just take the auto. We'll take their word for it. He is ambitious, deceitful, and elusive. And he also happens to be married to the young woman who will be Liu Qi's wife. So, sorry about you, Sun Hao.
必须剿灭国贼，攘除奸凶。我可不是薄情寡义之人。
Liu Chong wants a trade agreement and will pay us some money. Hooray!
如此一来，你我便达成一致。
Because now, you know, the Sun family, they're into the cookie jar, but not in the way that they think. You know, they're across the river. We've got our vassals across the river. Yuan Yao destroyed Zhongxiang, destroyed. That means, I'm like, does that mean she's in the pool? Liu Pan is in the pool. We know that he's got some good stuff, so we'll take it off of him. Guerrilla deployment faction-wide. That's pretty good. It'd be worth it just to take the bow, right? But he is also related to us. I mean, at least somehow through it all. So why don't we just grab him? And of course, Liu Dan. Conspiring clerk. Well, you know. Alright, so...
聚气凝神。
Give you the regular glaive. Alright, so this guy's not part of the family. And as a conspiring clerk, we hardly want to charge the gift rent. You know, that's alright, but yeah, I think we, you know, we might hold on to him for a second. Maliong, the sage with the white eyebrows. You know, we know that one day they will grow up to be populist, clever, and modest. Very good. And this will just increase the power of this crew. Keeping the split there is good. And I don't actually think anybody can equip the weapon we just grabbed, right? Yeah. I mean, he could, but he's got the gold one, and he leveled up because he's so powerful. Now, I feel like just going across to get to Roar is probably the best thing to do. But Final Rush is, you know, maybe just running around. I mean, if he gets half hurt and then gets a ton faster, we've seen this do really good. Yeah, let's just grab it. Alright, so Sun Jian is here. This guy, very tuned up, but still going. This garrison will hardly be a help, but it'll be some of a help. Oh, we should have done this once we stopped. Ah, I already clicked. Alright, well, it goes back. Alright, so... because there's no real good place for him to go here. So if we go right here... and we just get a couple more there. we can move out of here. We can give this stuff to Huang Zhu. But this blacksmith is so attractive. 10 military supplies for adjacent commanderies, like 50%. Like, it just seems pretty good. Can we hold on to it? Ah, Liu Biao. Well, since he's willing to be a spy, then finally. Do we send him to spy on him? I guess we do. And from it, I guess... Oh, no, Cai Mao is down here. Oh, that is awesome. All right, so the great news is that if we can win this fight against Sun Jian here in the north, we really might have him on quite the back foot. He's not super far away from peace, right? At 20. You know, like, once we beat this army in the next one, if we beat that army in the next one, you know, we should be able to get it. But, you know, Huang guy, that won't be tricky. This guy just has, you know, what I would call normal stuff. It's really just the big guy who's going to be a worry, so... I'm like, man, we should have given it to him. Because maybe... maybe with that, we could have gotten it done. Because we just roll out now. But we don't make money here. And as cool as this building is, you know, if we just... He would never work for me, right? Yeah, the Lius we're much too proud for all that. So who is... Right, so nobody wants to do this. Like, our window to get this guy to do it, I guess. Yeah, our window to get him to do it is, like, over, but he's defiant, so he would never have been good anyway. Oh, because now the Yuan clan that he was at war with is dealt with. But what we want to do here... They're just at -50, so if we... Because he's a courageous and noble warrior, right? So if we... Yep, it's just a little outside of what we can do. I hardly want all this frontage against Cao Cao, right? It's not my idea of a great time. We're gonna keep upgrading the guard posts, because honestly, that's what I think is the most important thing for us. This Jade Craftsman, if we get this... Well, it doesn't cost anything. And it just lets us get some cool stuff, so we might as well build it. Public order finally going up a little bit. Population's still in decline, but, you know, we'll... So we can do... Alright, so there we could sort of mess around with it a little bit, but if we... Yeah, so rehab criminals lowers public order, but gives you population growth, so that would, like, counteract it somewhat. If you had 5 public order, but we're still getting it. Here we go. Oversee mustering. If we do that...
冷静沉着。
Here. We still don't have anybody old enough to do that. That's all right. Faction council events. We are too broke to do the thing. Well, at least we are barely revenue positive, right? Like, how much money? Oh, yeah, he's broke.
别来无恙啊！
哦，
很荣幸，来吧。
很高兴与你见面。
有什么要谈的？
Alright, well, like, I'm thinking about all this, like, we still have to win this battle. But if this person shows up to it, I'd be, you know, surprised. But they might. But I get, you know, we gotta just see what happens, because these people can all do something cool. We'll just hold on to this for another second and see what comes of it. Like, can we... No, not raise army. That's not what we want to do. Because if we get hit from the north here, we're just going to lose this, and that'll really stink. But let's just do something that won't hurt anything. Because public order is sort of good here. So yeah, we'll just rehab criminals here with Liu Pan. And now everybody's doing something productive. And I guess we just take more assignments because, you know, we always need more assignments, right? And another sick, filial, and corrupt is available. Awesome. And that gets our satisfaction. Very good indeed. And of course, playing on normal, you don't have to worry about too much from it. And there we go. There we go indeed. It's all on the up and up. He gets a level up. He's likely to be an admin type guy the whole time. He's got our name, but he's not in the clan. You know, it doesn't mean you're definitely in the Liu clan, but the name can be illuminating. Alright, well, let's see what happens. I mean, really, you can't complain. You can't. You could try, but it wouldn't work.
"敌人包围了你的城镇，他们想要在你出击前削弱你，最好派出军队前去解围，以免守军因为城中粮尽而投降。"
So they're all back. All right. Now the good news is that, you know, we're here. We've got towers to fight with. We've got good archers. So let's see if we can make it work, because this is exactly what we need. Towers to fight under. We gotta reach out and get it done, because in these narrow corridors, that's when tactics can count for something. Maybe it'll be raining, you know. I don't think they had any like fire arrow type stuff. They might though, you know. We'll see. If they don't, then fighting in front of you know, the towers will be very nice indeed. Yes, the city endures. Won't have walls here, right? Just yeah. So that's where our reinforcements will come from, but that won't matter over much. Yep, and they'll you know, they'll be trying to get in these various places. Now we want. Okay, so we also have internal areas to fight on, you know. We might just... because we could just pull them in here, and then... these are a lot of towers. I think, you know, if we just push out and fight in front of them, because, you know, it's... can let them in here... not present too much of a front there. Let plenty of damage come to response force there, and then we, you know, because this group, if they want to move in there, okay, and then we can rotate here if we need, and then they've got these towers and these towers to worry about if they try to come inside. Rotate over. You know, we are spread thin, we are. Alright, let's see how we can do. Oh, we get to put the barricades down. Okay, yeah. The barricades. Because the thing about all these towers is I think they're going to do just like an absolute ton of work. what we want to do is make sure that the big guy doesn't get in and start beating down our big guys, you know, for free. So pushing in like this is fine. You know, and if we hit their archers here, so much the better. They don't have any spears here. And if we just stay in motion, I don't think he's really going to tag me. And then we hit a sick Flames of the Phoenix and get out here. Now, of course, you know, it won't be too long before they get in everywhere, but, you know, we did some good work there. You know, a lot of them are running. Let's get over here. I don't like where we're at here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, these guys, they took the long way in, huh? Well, you know. Oh, they're taking the tower. I do not want to run in front of my own towers. I don't think they actually shoot. I think it just makes me sad. Oh, wow, and these guys take the long way out, too. Terrible stuff. All right, well, the good news is that these towers are still operating. But the good news here is none, and I think we're actually, you know, we might have made a big mistake here. We could be okay, though. Because the archers here are fine. They do have another whole couple armies coming in, but we turned off large battle, you know, because we're smart or cowards. But I think the important thing here is that, you know, if we win these fights, then we just keep them tied up over here somehow. And, you know, for all that he's got a ton of weapon damage, he's not using it against great targets right now, right? And now we get the crew. Oh, there we go. He tags the big guy, but you know, we're gonna run around. But I think you know, we've got it, right? Yeah, we totally got it. Because this other group, oh no, is all the way in, though. I was like, after all, there isn't even another force. There totally is. There's whole other armies coming in, right? But the idea is, and it might be working, that we're just going to, you know, use superior tactics to escort them away. Shot cav works there, and you know they're gonna, oh my, you know they're gonna try to just take the city, but that's not gonna work. Oh, he flipped out. Who died? Oh, fortunately he doesn't have that good of an item set. Oh, Liu Biao gets downed though. Well, you know, good news for us. Our big juiced guy got upset, so that's great. We're gonna get on to this point. Jeez Louise, this is pretty bad for us. Alright, so Sun Jian has, you know, he's got boosted, we've got boosted. We're probably going to lose this, though, because I got very distracted. Should have been fighting on the center point or something, but yeah. Man, Liu Biao going down, not good. Not good at all. But then we connect twice with the big guy. He gets popped. But we have retaken this. Now they have some raiders that are setting fires everywhere, but that's not the same. These guys have firewall moving? They must, oh yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is that, you know, they're all popped. So if we can just stabilize this, you know, the reinforcing army, Liu Qi has got a ton of HP still. They've taken those towers. That's a real shame. And wow, 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 we get so beat up by that volley. Jeez. All right, let's try to get back in here, huh? But, you know, we just send a strategist in, why not? I mean, because really, he's much better than nothing. All right, Huang Gai goes down. So now, for all that they are, you know, being a little annoying, they're going to have to come in piecemeal through our... Oh, these are my reinforcements that all came in here. Well, that's all right, then. Because the guys they have inside are not really qualified for this. So I think we've pulled it around. And, of course, you know, Liu Qi gonna be able to be a huge hero here, and Chen Gong gonna, you know, avail himself pretty well too. You know, however long it takes, he will take these archers down. That's what he swears. Because on the approach with these weakened forces coming in, because this army that's the reinforcements, that's the one that we tuned up the turn before. They'll be in March, so they're hardly going to be very happy about this whole affair. And then, of course, if we get here, we'll have, like, a raised platform to shoot off of. And these internal towers are pretty good indeed and should be helping to make relatively short work of these fools. Because this is a very nice place to defend, right? This is no slouch of a thing, you know, having to be underneath all these towers... Or rather, underneath those and then internally here. It's not too comfy for him, I don't think. And there we go. We're just going to wait here to take this one. Move in there and there. And glorious victory over the Sun family here. And, you know, maybe we'll get the Imperial Seal out of it. Maybe we'll get the Silver Sword. Liu Biao fell bravely in battle, but it just inspired Liu Qi to ever greater feats. And of course, that's what we see now. Ever greater feats. And they are far from their replenishment. Even if they run away, right? They're inside of our zone for like at least a whole turn. They probably won't have the movement to get away. And, you know... Very excellent indeed, and the towers are going to ping them so good on their retreat. Yeah, our reinforcements, you know, they're trying. But yeah, but actually seeing the map now, I'm like, man, we could have just kept our dudes under these internal towers and kept our archers right here. That would have been good. But the way we did it absolutely, positively did work too. And Sun Jian fell before he came out onto the battlefield, so they don't get the Oathsworn thing. But we don't want to get too beat up here. Not for free, you know. Liu Qi's not that hurt. If they hurt him a little bit more, he's going to get his speed enabled. But, yeah, there they hit us with the old 1-2 of pain. The old Wisdom of the River with the cavalry on you. But it won't be enough. Because we're going to draw their cavalry into, you guessed it, our Withering Archer Fire. Now we gotta turn around to save our archers a little bit. Man, I love, you know, for all that fighting defensive sieges in Warhammer is usually miserable, it's quite engaging in Three Kingdoms. I say, winning. But if we hadn't clicked, you know, large army battle, I mean, we would have lost. But, you know, you do what you got to do to win, right? We're going to start speeding it up a little bit. Like, how's he getting away from me? He absolutely runs all the way in, but there we go. We do finally get a hit on him, because, like, with our Popstead, it's 10k from a hit. Dude, Liu Qi out here fighting like Lu Bu, but, like, you know, that roar did come in and shatter our guys. I think we're all right on balance, though. On balance of power, I don't think we're, like, at risk of just losing here to him. But, you know, he's doing great work, but there we go. We hit him hard there. He's unbreakable, it looks like. This will probably... Sun Jing probably Oathsworn to him, but, you know... It's not like we can just let him leave. He is unbreakable, so we have to pop him. But it looks like they were not Oathsworn for all that they are relatives. You know, they're not that close. And they're all right. Yeah, clearly with all of our guys out of ammo and everything, you know, we hit our preset kill limit, certainly. But if they're trying to come around this way, that is excellent. And of course we see how good it is when they don't have fire arrows. Of course, we must recall that our troops were a little tuned up when we got in here. A little, I say, but yeah, you know. Some of the archers were at medium strength. Many of the cavalry and infantry were at limited strength. But this streaming in over the backs of these towers, just what we want to see, right? But we still have some archers left with ammo. Oh, these are regular archers. How fun. How quaint. So this guy freaks out, but of course he still has a ton of HP left. So the last thing we want to do is let him get away. Now, we do not, however, have any more cav to chase these guys down with, but, you know, we have our towers, and he's probably, yeah, he's slower than we are, because we've got our final rush, right? So that's, you know, taking final rush was definitely the right choice, too. After all, we can use the fallen father to inspire the son, you know, to greatness. Who knows how it would have went without that, right? This is us with double damage, and we still barely pulled it down. But we do get one big hit on him. So it'd only take a handful to get him, right? We've got 6k regular, 4.5 AP, so still be a big old hit, you know. It won't take but a few to get him down. There we go, we get him. And from here, we just need to continue putting an absolute murdering on these fools. And, you know, if Liu Qi keeps on leveling up, then more power to us and to everyone. With another 600 kill performance. You know, what a champion. I love taking a character that history did not set aside for particular greatness and, you know, seeing what the world can give us. But magnificent. A heroic victory indeed. Earning it. Earning it.
全力奋战，则战无不胜。
We're not gonna execute Huang Gai. Or Jing. Not least because they're not that great at fighting, and their armies are pretty beat up, and it'd be funnier if they joined us anyway.
看压他们，只能消耗。我等非蛮夷。
And we could take 13 replin or a grand. I mean, that replin will get us into shape to do the follow-up fight, but they are in no condition to fight us after this anyway. This is good. Yeah, the roll-up on this, the roll-up after this fight is going to be monstrous. I want his stuff. It looks like Lu Su dies. Oh, and Sun Jian. Yeah, they all died over there in the other army. So that might be, with a full general pop, I think that whole army just disintegrates. But I hear, like, man, yeah, I think we take the money just because they're in such a bad way that, and they can't like get away, right? They even if they go to March, I feel like they move too far in. Yeah, this guy might someday be there, but that is so good. This is so good. We might have dealt with the Sun family, right? We might have done. And you know, for all that I kept on thinking about doing this, oh, this is the Lady Lu. This is like, she's 43. She's 43, my man.
算了，继续吧。
And he's almost out of his lands, but... Bum, bum, bum. Yuan Shu gets peace with the Protectorate of the Empire. Chen Wen gets destroyed. And, joyous day, a son has been born to us, and our spy in that faction does well. Alright, so here we can say if we value perception rather than directness. We'll pal around with that dude. Alright, so Zhonglu is the... Taoist master, I think he... like, doesn't even want independence. Alright, so Lu Kang here now.
请进，朋友。
Because, you know, why not? Yeah, because Liu Pan will marry Lu Fei. That's much better, you know, and we'll still bind our houses, you know. He really likes that. You know, their character joins our faction. And that'll be, you know, nice. You know, it's a very nice diplomatic thing to do. And he, you know, he's not a totally minor guy at all, you know. We'll get in here, and then we will... We only need 1.6 left, so we can Give him a food. Alright, so we hand over Runan, and this will get us him as a vassal. He is a courageous warrior and, you know, honorable and stuff. So there we go. Give him the token of food, and there we are. Now this would, well, he's not at war with Cao Cao, he just doesn't like the idea. And we will mediate peace on this side. Marvelous. And there we go. Getting it done. And now, you know, we have married in the Murong Waymaker. I'm like, he's 69 years old. This tribal bow, though. Oh, this is amazing. 10 ammo for the range units in your own retinue and all that. Yeah, we gotta... satisfaction factor. Well, you know, we're not really having problems with it, but it is pretty cool. Alright, so what we can do now is figure out this Murong guy's story. So he used to have his own thing, and now he is off of the steppes. Okay, so he's got his own tree in the breach, all of that, you know, pretty good. He is super old at 68 years old, but, you know, the really important thing is we're going to remove this bow. And putting it onto him. Which, yeah, you know, we'll assist this army. We'll lose the faction support thing, but I feel like it's kind of okay to do for this awesome bow. Because 10% more ammo is 10% more ammo, right? Like, that's real good. And having somebody else in the army with a bow that can, like, get some work in. We don't want to get rid of this, though. I feel like it's important enough to keep there. Alright, well, awesome. We did it. We made it out of the very earliest dangers. It's 194. And all's well, right? Why is all well? Well, because here in the south, things are, I mean, getting wrapped up. Cai Mao is going to go here and take Linxiang. That's what's going to happen. The remaining strongholds of the Sun family are without leader. Huang Zu's going to come up here and pop him, and then yeah, we're gonna roll over Sun Jian right now. And of course they're so beat up. They're not even in here. You know, they're not going to show up for the fight. But we're going to go ahead and delegate it. And we have a bunch of money now because each, yeah, we get a lot from the tributaries from our vassals. So very good stuff indeed. But we get caught up in the trees. But you know, we still get him down. We don't get any of the items from him and whatnot. Maybe because he wasn't personally there. You know, maybe we could have waited. Here we go to the military axe just because, you know, more armor piercing. And his resolve gives food production 2% faction-wide. Percentage food production. Interesting. And this guy, for a little bit of melee evasion, won't go amiss. You know, broke. Plenty of food, though. And not really broke, just a little broke. But we're going to be selling this off because, I mean, so much of our food comes from here. Do we want to keep holding on to it? I mean, probably. Cao Cao won't be afraid to attack our vassal, and it doesn't really benefit us to giving him more land over here, right? He's got enough food already. So if we were going to do it, it would just be to, yeah. Liu Chong, this is your capital? Is this literally all you have? Well, you know, stranger things have happened. He is at war with Cao Cao, after all, who is doing well. Who's Cao Cao even fighting now? Just them, you know, and that's the thing, is if we could...
你要怎样？
20% income from family estates faction-wide? My girl! Amazing! That's that, Yuan family connection, right? This persuade the ginger pretty good too. A lot of these assignments are quite amazing, and hey, we're in the moderate now, which gives us, you know, a little bit more of our stuff, but, you know, we're, you know, we're making it. Far out from Marquis for the second thing. Do we want to... Because, alright, so do we want like one unit of actual heavy cavalry? And if so, why? I mean, I think the answer is yes, and if the answer is yes, it's because it's cool. No, we're just gonna get one of them. We can wait for them to come back. Yeah, and moving them to Imperial Defenders seems fine. Imperial Guards. We'll just wait on them for another turn. And yeah, you know, Sun Jian has fallen. In battle, he's over here, and honestly, things are feeling pretty breezy because Huang Zhong is, you know, coming home now, and that means we're not so out of sorts. Because the thing about this pass and Zhong and stuff is like, if we just have a guy here, this pass is so far away Wu passes. And you can go in here from, but it's very, very far away. And, you know, supposing you have any sort of visibility on it, you know, you're gonna know that they're coming for a while if they're there. So if we have an army up here, that'll be enough to dissuade them from coming forward. But up to a sick 20% replenishment in this thing, you know, some from the characters, some from the other stuff, but here we just keep on keeping on, right? Because we'll move in here, and in the event that happens, we'll just come across and then take Redcliffe or something. I don't relish the idea of the Sun family, you know, having a great time, and you know, if they're not there in the south, as far as I know, I don't have to worry about anyone in exactly particulars. But you know, Cai Mao is doing so good for us down here. You know, his army's not amazing, but this is yeah, he's a competent sailor. You know, he's got his bodyguard, which is not as good as it is before they changed the game, but you know, hey. And of course, I don't want to fight the non-men, but if we've got guys that are doing it, that's great. But yeah, so everything's good. The Imperial favor hasn't happened yet, right? So that's good too, because a lot of these early jockeying for position things could potentially be upsetting the Emperor, but now, you know, we've gotten things a little bit more settled. So we could if we swap it, we get better tower projectiles and better public order. What's the point of this one? Oh, this one increases our movement range, and this one reduces their movement range. Well, yeah, and it also gives us a bigger reserve capacity. I feel like that's good, and helps out the adjacent commander. Yeah, you know, I think this will be a good conversion. Help us out a little bit. All right, Lu Fei, what makes her tick? She's got tempered deflection and tenacity and resolve. Fertile, beautiful, and fraternal. 4% replenishment for her own retinue. Nice. And Murong is old enough. Oh yeah, it gives 25 character experience faction wide. Good stuff. Yep, and he can be the scholar. And excellent news, Sun Jian re-recruited his army up here. That means he's not going to be in the south, logically enough, which... well, that is very good for us indeed. And it looks like they beat the army of Huang Zhong that was over here, but... And we get the scholar follower, which we will put onto our heir here. Political pawn. Oh, come on. Yeah, so this guy showed up or something, and then they did get rid of our buddy's armies over here. Or he went all the way over there? I don't think so, yeah. So Huang Zhong did get beat there, but... Alright, so this guy... Is he trying to go in?
众将听令。
You know, the thing is, I just don't think that... I don't think any of these guys is going to be as fearsome as what we've faced previously, right? If we go here again, we very well may be able to provoke them into another awesome ambush. And even if they bring all of these forces against us, we should be fine. Oh, he got his Tiger Guard online, so yeah, that's... We very clearly have to deal with him, like, right now, because these dudes will be just miserable for us to deal with, right? Spears, ton of hit points, amazing shields.
悉心节欲，待时而发。势如利刃。
Like, so do we...
摆好阵势，准备出击。我军必胜。
I think we go here, right? And then we ambush as well.
准备伏击。
This guy hits level 4, very good. Range damage for the on retinue. Yeah, why not, right?
一棵病树，足以妨害整片树林。
Here, the bigger armor piercing is what we care about. Alright, well, you know... It's wild how quickly he gets put back together, right? But, you know, I guess that's the mustering. And hopefully he won't be running up this side, and if he does, then hopefully we can do something about it. But, you know, Huang Zhong got tuned up. This guy must have been over here. He must have just come across the road. I don't know what he was doing, but, you know, it's pretty rough. But at least this vassal is doing okay. And we know Huang Zhong is, like, broke. But hey, at least Cai Mao is working out. And this guy gets a level up. He is an administrator, which means going the lower way towards Binding Fury will be the way to do it. just need to... Oh, we gotta have the tea parley before we can do that. Got it. Makes sense. Do just like a workshop here? I mean, I guess.
心怀中正。
Alright, so they're all involved in this. If we just retreat here, right?
快撤！
Oh, this guy's army came... This is actually amazing. This dude's army came all the way up. And... yeah, we're just gonna... I guess we'll just do this real quick before we carry on. I'm like, I think... yeah, let's just do it. Because this is amazing, right? Because the retreat from Sun Jian pushed us in to... or it's 12:45 in the morning. Okay, well, we're not going to do this right now, but how fun. The retreat pushed us into the reinforcement range for the town, so we're going to be able to reinforce... hopefully get a big replenishment hit, and then turn around and be able to deal with the Sun family. And Huang Zhong is still over there too, so you know, like they're hardly going to be too happy about this, unless somebody went up in the center also. But, or do I have time to do this? I mean, so I think I'll be like reinforcing from out of the place, which means, of course, that it'll be a little while till we get in. They don't have that much in the way of cavalry, and of course we know it being right here is what we want to do.
弓箭准备。
我方援兵抵达。
Because they're going to be getting beat up by the towers and such, and then we're going to be right behind them, right? So we'll be just fine. And this is just perfection, because they had so many forces up here, and this is just really going to help us deal with them. And hopefully get big replen hits that'll help us be in good shape for the future too, because, you know, every bit of posturing here benefits us and not our opponent. You want to go? Yeah, very well, I accept. then we just got hit with the old wisdom. Of course, we don't have that much evasion or armor, but every little hit hurts. But we win the duel as we expected. You want to take a duel if you're going to win it, like, really hard. Because you get a little bit of a heal when you end a duel. Boom. And in this case, you know, ends up taking us basically as high as we were before it. Beautiful stuff. And then over here, you know, they're so slow getting in. But of course, speaking of slow getting in, we have to get inside or these guys are going to be a problem. True Benton, hello. You've caught me at almost the end of the video, but I couldn't resist the chance to do this fight. Shout out to the True Benton, yes. 2558, yes, welcome, welcome. Bum, 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 bum. A huge hit there, and of course we're making our way in to the inside now with all of those troops. You know, it's if they had had a more put together force, you know, they might have been able to just bust all the way in, but fortunately, we were here to dissuade them. But here we're just trying to get a good murdering on them as they leave. Because the mop-up is just so important to the overall strategy, right? Because if we just get them, because there's two schools, right? You can get them all the way eliminated and then they're gone, or you keep them very weak and then, you know, they've got their low replen for a while, but we don't want them to be in shape to fight against us again. A decisive victory for us and for all that we might have gotten, you know, but since we're not the principal army, I guess we don't even get the replenishment, right? Liu Qi is still the leader of this army. Dongji, you know, you're a nice enough guy, but your retinue's not very good, so why would we want to kill you? Yeah, I think it's we just take the ransom here because out, and then this is perfect. So he's like run away into the trees. We know from experience that's hardly going to help him out. That's like the Sima Yi sprite a little changed, I think. But oh, maybe he was hiding in the trees, right? Because he's there now. But anyway, maybe he was fighting in the trees. Su Fei looking a little bit like like a Sun Si guy. And speaking of, oh man, it looks like Sun Ce came in here and deleted Cai Mao.
哦，是你这厮。
But the good news is,
满怀信念，奋力一战，恢复原样。
that we can get there and he
为了天下大义，
can't stop us.
我军必胜。
Wow. Oh, well, at least it's... I'm like, geez, they've got a whole lot of people here, don't they? Armored up guys, too. Well...
向前推进。
If we hit him here...
待时而发。摆设宴席，欢呼庆祝吧！
You sure here? We'll just release him, take the replen.
唯有扫清六合，天下才能平定。
挽弓预设。
Point him the commanding general and then perfection. This guy's so beat up he probably can't even beat this garrison, meager as it is. Oh, settlement has walls there. Well,
威武不屈。
but here, of course, we've got the other army in, and we will do this fight when we come back to play. That'll be a good one. You know, we'll be able to snipe the big guy down, and then maybe maybe see what we can do. Because, you know, for all that things on the other side of the river with Cai Mao seemed promising, you know, I guess all it took was Sun Ce showing up with a stack. You know, we waited too long. I wonder what level this guy is already. Oh, he's the heir. Oh, they changed his trait, though. It gives him melee damage for shot cav, charge bonus for all infantry. Oh. Well, that's actually pretty cool, and goes to some of their strengths, and frankly is better than doubling that bonus anyway. But you know, maybe we'll catch him. Maybe we'll be able to put him into a wounded state. Maybe we'll be able to get the horse or the seal, you know. He doesn't deserve that seal. No, I don't think it's worth it to raise an army here, but maybe it is, just to keep them off of it.
"万物并非在秋季消亡，而是化物变形。
These spear cav also have bows and fire damage. It's pretty cool. He is a Jianbei. Jianbei. That dude's wearing the sword and wood. That's funny. Well, anyway. Yes, when we come back, we'll do this fight because practice for fights is good, not because they're not super overmatched, and we'll take it on from there. You know, having minor factions for your vassals is fine, but it's not, you know, it's not great. It's merely good. And he's too proud. Yeah, he's always a never.
妙。
So he's the closest one to it. Because he's at war with all the people that we're at war with. But, you know, he probably has, what, like one land over here somewhere? How have we even met him? Yeah, we can hardly promise him too much. But, you know, for all I was like, yeah, the Sun are over, you know. But the thing is we're still doing well. We've got him pushed back. You know, we're finally finding our stride with our armies, getting some better items, getting some nice wives for people, you know. You never know when you'll need it. So if you put him into battle, you can make him, like, change on you. But I think here... we just wait, like, a turn or two, right? Because we need more of the points in order to protect... I don't really know a lot about the spies. But I think it's what we do. Liu Kang levels up. Very good. And then... get either starting recruits faction-wide or faction support faction-wide. Still go on assignment. I think Persuade the Gentry is pretty good. Yeah, we'll just go this way. Well, no, go into Unyielding Earth is better. And he might theoretically someday go fight. Good stuff, good stuff. We've got everything down to a science here. You know, it's all working out. And you know, we'll do this fight and we'll win, obviously. And then from there, maybe get some peace. Maybe. Cao Cao is no one's friend, and he is too much of our neighbors to be comfortable, right? But, well, I feel better about our prospects than I have at any point yet. You know, we've got our little bubble here, and you know, we've got a couple of vassals. We need Cai Mao to not die so that, you know, he can keep on paying his rent. But if we can eliminate the big guy, it's gonna take away that big 25% campaign movement range, right? Like, that's craziness, and it would be very nice to get rid of that. Okay, so he has flames. He is a sentinel, of course. Impetuous charge, which ain't really that good, but good for him. I would love that sword. I'd like the horse better. The horse gives you plus 20% armor. I would definitely like that horse better. But anyway. A wonderful time. And, you know, we make some great progress. Eliminating a bitter rival that's next door is always good. If we can just push the Sun family on the other side of the river and get peace, that would be fine too. I worry less about them the longer the game is, right? You know, let them deal with other problems. Now that I know they don't get double charge bonus, it's easier to stomach the idea. And maybe if we play our cards right, we'll be able to marry over Sun Ren, assuming that the family's still around and we're not at war with them. But anyway, that's all I've got for you right now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed. This has gone pretty well. You know, it was all about getting that gold weapon with Liu Qi. But that's how the game is. You know, you gotta look for your opportunities, and we're certainly finding a couple of them. So we'll see how far we can take that. Good night, everybody.